inauguration of the ACG Laboratories Process Development Lab. We are joined here today by the august presence, and it is my honor to introduce you to Ms. Gina Malhotra. Thank you so very much for joining us, ma'am. Gina Malhotra has been the President and Global Head of Manufacturing, Operations and Supply Chain, as well as Devices and Diagnostic Center of Excellence of Cipla from November 2018. Prior to this role, Gina ma'am was the Global Head of Integrated Product Development of Cipla from 2013 to 2018. Gina has completed her bachelor's in pharmacy in 1985 from Mumbai and received her executive MBA from Washington University. Having joined Cipla in 1986 for well over 3 decades, Gina has been a pillar for the R&D at Cipla. Gina has spearheaded Cipla's use of cutting-edge technology platforms, equipment drug-device combinations, and target drug delivery dosage forms in order to fulfill unmet patient needs. Gina has, to her credit, a large number of patents in the area of formulation development, delivery systems, and inhalation medical devices. Gina has provided technical leadership to multidisciplinary R&D teams with a cross-functional environment to build and deliver a high throughput, with technology being the core focus. She is the recipient of the Eminent Researcher Award from the IPA, the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, in 2007, the FDD Express Pharma Award for Outstanding Achievement in Formulation Development and Drug Delivery in 2017, and she has also been honored by India Glory Award in 2017 by Indian Friendship Society and Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Excellence Award in 2018 for outstanding and distinguished services to the nation. As the Head of Operations, Supply Chain Management and Device and Diagnostic Center of Excellence, a member of the Management Council of Cipla, Gina's priorities are environment, health and safety management, implementation of good engineering practices, and process efficiency. We are greatly honored and elated to have her here today. I would kindly request Dr. Michel, the CEO of ACG's Engineering Division, to kindly felicitate Ms. Gina with a scented candle made specially by visually impaired craftsmen from the hills of Mahabaleshwar. Doctor? Joining us today on the dais is also the esteemed Mr. Sandeep Raktate. Mr. Raktate is the Senior Vice President of Formulation Cluster for Cipla. He is responsible for formulation facilities across all 12 locations, 4 at Indore, 2 at Kurkum, 2 at Satara, 2 in South Africa, and 1 each in Morocco and Kenya. He was previously based at the location near Pune in Kurkum. And I would request Dr. Michel to felicitate Mr. Raktate with a crafted scented candle. On this momentous occasion, it is also my deepest honor to introduce to you the gathering today, Dr. Michel, the Chief Executive Officer of ACG Engineering. Dr. Michel brings more than 25 years of global execution, including decades of design, project execution, strategic development, and operational excellence in mechanical processes and plant engineering for the pharmaceutical, chemical, and allied industries. He joins ACG from the GEA Group in Germany, where he was last associated as the Executive VP for the entire GEA Pharma Solutions business. His international career is characterized by strong geographical mobility, particularly in Europe, APAC, North America, and Latin America, contributing to his ability to adapt and succeed with an impressive track record in different cultures. He has previously held leadership positions with various multinational companies, including Soitchemy, ThyssenKrupp, Oid, and Laboratories. Dr. Marcus Michel is a chemical engineer by education and has received a PhD from the Technical University, Clausthal, Germany, and an executive MBA from the London Business School. I request Shankar Gupta, COO of Sales and Commercial Excellence of ACG Engineering, to kindly felicitate Dr. Marcus Michel. To welcome the gathering and address the proceedings, I now welcome Mr. Shankar Gupta, the Chief Operation Officer of Sales and Commercial Excellence, to the stand.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this auspicious occasion of inauguration of ACG Laboratories. Already Nadir introduced our guest, and it's no wonder that when ACG is having this milestone moment of opening of this laboratory, we have two guests from Cipla. Because Cipla and ACG have always shared some common values. If you see Cipla's logo, it's caring for life. And they care for everything, not only life, humanity, nation. For them, it's a selfless service to everywhere. If you go to every Cipla factory, you will see the picture of father of the nation outside the factory, every factory. And it shows the deep commitment of this company to this Indian nation. And I think it's the only company that I have visited, Indian company, not only in pharma, but any industry, that has still picture of our freedom movement and father of the nation. So it shows their commitment to nation, for this great nation. Few years back, when I remember the government of India wanted to integrate Northeast to the mainstream India, with Sikkim being the pharma hub, the company said, no, we don't want to go there, because Sikkim, for those of you who have visited Sikkim, it has many challenges. It doesn't have skilled manpower. People from mainland India doesn't want to go there. It's a very difficult terrain, very difficult place to do business. And most importantly, it takes 1 day to go there and 1 day to come back. This was the first company which said to government, no, we will go there. And then since Cipla went there, every company followed. So that's the Cipla for them, and it's nation and its people come first. And it's not only nation, it's, I would say, the humanity. A few years back, I was in 1-year course at Harvard Business School, and we had about 200 plus cases we studied. Primarily all cases were pertaining to American companies, few of them European companies, mostly German and Japanese company. There was only one company that featured into that case list, and is a matter of pride for all of us, was Cipla. It's about a person called Yusuf Hamid, who a few years back in early 90s or mid 90s, South Africa came out of the apartheid regime. It was, the whole African continent was suffering the huge menace of AIDS. People were dying every day, governments were helpless, multinational companies were selling drugs and minting money by millions of dollars. There's one company who came up and say, I will give you at a price, it's 1/50th or 1/100th of that price. Mr. Hamid stood up. He stood up to the global multinational. He stood up to all powers of West and single-handedly fought that battle. They went to UN, they went to US to ban this company, but they could not do it because they said a huge goodwill of the people there. So that's Cipla for you. That's Cipla. I mean, the way they have served humanity and that they have served nation. And as I mentioned, that ACG and Cipla have a lot of common values. We did a few years back a global customer survey, and the customers in one voice said, there's one thing in ACG which differentiates you from others is your service. And we are at the service of our customers, always. And this is a shared value that we have, that we will serve our customers to help them to serve the nation or the humanity. I remember when Cipla went to Sikkim, we were the first one to say that we will be there to support you. We were present there, we had our own people, we were their own guest house, and we made sure that the Cipla plant is operational in a minimum number of days, and we worked in partnership with them. When in mid-90s, when Cipla wanted to, then asthma was a big disease in India, big challenge. No company had, so when Cipla, either it is Aerocot or it is Asthaline, everywhere we partnered with Cipla, we worked with them, whether it is capsules or capsule filling or granulation, we partnered with Cipla and made sure that all products are successfully launched to the people of India and the world. So because of these common values, if any one of us, I'm sure there are many long-timers here, Rajesh is a long-timer, Saju, me, all of us, whenever we go to, or Dr. Dande, when we go to a Cipla factory, whether the factory is in Kurkum or Baddi or Goa or Durban or Long Island, we always feel at home in any Cipla factory because of these common values. So it's an absolute, as I said, I started with, that is not a coincidence or a surprise that today in this milestone event, we have representatives from top officials from Cipla. Coming to this laboratory, my heartiest congratulations to Saju, to Vasant, Rajesh, Sirish, who have been instrumental in putting this up, and it will be a huge, as I said, it's a huge milestone day for ACG when we'll start our collaboration with the pharma industry, the students, the pharma fraternity, the pharma professionals, and we'll work in collaboration with them to make sure that as an industry, as a industry, we serve more and more humanity. We make sure that the gap between which we're talking about between the OEMs or partners like us and the organizations like Cipla reduces, and we come on a common platform to serve the humanity and mankind. With this, I once again welcome the guests and everyone here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shankar sir. It is now a great opportunity to welcome Dr. Marcus Michel to the podium to address the gathering.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and a very welcome as well from my side to our honorable guest, Ms. Geena, the Global Chief Technology Officer of Cipla. I'm very delighted to have you here under these circumstances, and we were of the new normal, I have to tell, and so I'm very happy that you could make it. As well to Sandeep Akhtate, our Senior Vice President, Head of Formulation. And as well to my distinguished guests, esteemed customers, partners, and valuable ACG associates here in Shirwal, and as well as around the globe, joining us virtually of this particular meeting here. I have to say, for me as well, and many of my team members, it's an absolutely fantastic, exciting day here for the entire ACG group to launch the first of its kind process development lab here, particularly in India. Let me go a little bit back into the history and reflect what the ACG group has done so far. ACG Group is more than half a century in the pharma and nutra industry around the globe with outstanding products, technologies, and services. We are offering and supporting to our customers on the process development side, on the optimization front, already since many years, and particularly when it comes to developing something together with our customers, particularly with our partners. It goes back actually here in this particular site in the 90s. At that time, actually, it was already very clear to ACG, unless we cannot demonstrate how a fluidized bed granulation is working, how a high shear mixer is working, finally how a dryer and FB dryer is working, nobody would believe that ACG is in the position to bring this to value for the customers. So along this and with other equipment, we started already at that time very engaged to convince our prospective customers how they will be successfully with our products. And then I have to say there was one or the other time with some intermittent solution we actually were trying to bridge the request by our customers, the request by our partners. And we were thinking already serious at that time, starting to offer a sort of laboratory trials, facilitate this in one or the other arrangement to our perspective as well to our existing customers. Along with this, by the way, we were starting already to build up the so-called technology support team. And I would say one thing which reminds me, well, it's really remarkable that we started already in 2004 with our first pilot scale combo unit. At that time it was an FBE 125C, where we were in a position to support our customers on a pilot scale, and not only on a single machine, this to scale the process and to optimize the process itself. Later, then we were adding, of course, smart coaters, smart tablet presses, which we could also help our customers to check what is the tablet quality produced from the granules we are using in our fluidized bed process technologies. According to my investigation, and I have to say it's interesting to see ACG as well from my previous history from outside, and I have to say, if I'm right, ACG was the first engineering equipment manufacturing company here in India who set up such a laboratory and training facility for our customers. However, always a long, long journey. And for good reasons, we were discontinuing, we were postponing. So we have had a lot of obstacles to take until we got an existing facility where we can say, okay, now we are seeking for a more tailor-made one facility fulfilling customers' future expectations. And that's why we are here today. We are willing, we are prepared with the first step of this kind of process development lab to fulfill your expectations you have in the future. A new lab type was conceived, and we are here to see it. We have the chance to go in, you can take a look, and I'm really excited to get your reflection on it. What we can do better in future to fulfill your expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud that ACG has achieved another step forward, as I said, closer to pursue our customers' needs and requests for innovative solutions of their applications wherever it is in the world. This process development lab here, we will have over there, will provide our worldwide oral solid dosage customers a state-of-the-art testing and training environment to collaborate with us, with our experts, on some or most innovative process equipment. Following our statement, make it better, our process development lab here in Shirwal is the first institution under a new umbrella, I call it, which we say ACG Laboratories. There will many others followed in future by one or the other focus in the upcoming years, thus providing our customers a worldwide, truly better support. Make it better for our customers. To realize such kind of facility, a lot of people have been involved. I could start now, and I would still talk in an hour from now about appreciation, and please allow me only to name some of them. Representatively, I like to express my appreciation to Ajit Kanekar. He is actually one of the owners and of the thought and the necessity of such kind of lab. Right now he's heading, as I mentioned previously, the process technology and customer support, because this alignment with the lab here, customers, partners on the other side is very crucial. Many thanks to Ajit. And then I have to name one person and his team, Vasan Shetty. He is actually, by heart, the lab is his baby. And he is doing a great job for process development lab and his team. Last but not least, and I'm very pleased to see Dr. Shir Standi here as the previous managing director of this site. I have a lot of input and a lot of efforts over many, many decades, I have to say. He was, so there too. So he was really engaged to get this done here. And last but not least, I'd like to say thank you to Richard Stateman, my predecessor, that he brought it here right now. I take it over from him, and I'm very delighted to see what we have achieved here. Finally, without our board of directors, this could not be happened. So a great thanks to the board of directors under the leadership of Karan Singh for their trust and confidence in what ACG, respectively ACG Engineering, is providing here today and providing to our customers in the future. Before we start with the inauguration ceremony and cutting the ribbon, I'd like to ask you, Gina, to plant a tree with me. We will do this over there. And for me, in my culture as well in other cultures, planting a tree shall symbolize the growth on one hand and the partnership with our valuable customers. And you are the first one, and it's my honor to accompany you to plant this. I'm wishing this lab for the future to see many, many more trees aligned here, giving me the confidence that the lab is growing, our partnership to our valuable customers will grow in the future. Thank you very much, and looking forward to welcome all the customers around the world to see this facility here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Marcus Michel. We would really love to hear a few words, if you would like to, Ms. Geena ma'am, if it's possible.
Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here. I really want to thank ACG for inviting me here today to inaugurate your new development lab, a real privilege, and a special thanks to Ajit Kanetkar, Dr. Dande, whom I've known for almost a decade, also Vasant and Mr. Gupta and Rajesh. Thank you all for your partnership over the years, and Cipla has always respected this partnership for what you bring on the table, for the quality of equipment that you bring in, and for the service that you bring in. And we were having this long chat over an hour in the morning, and we were talking about how the industry has evolved and changed. And with many of us having spent decades in the industry, we do see that there is an opportunity for us to work together to change the way we worked. What was good enough for 30 years ago is not good enough today. And our expectations in terms of safety, our expectations and what we expect in our environment is very, very different from the time when India was a developing country. Today it's a pharmacy of the world. And with that comes tremendous responsibility that we have for our people working in our plants, and equally our partners who support us with it. So when I start looking at what is a vision that I have for my own factories, and I'm sure that you would have similar for your operations as well, is my vision is to have one with as much automation as possible. So more interconnected and automated factories where we can get data real time, where we can continuously improve our processes, right? Where we have least effluence, least wastages, whether it's to the environment, soil, air, water, right? And that's my vision for how I want to run our factories. And I truly believe that as we've understood our processes today, our factories can really be small. We don't need to have large factories, right? My vision is that you should have a factory in a 40-foot container where you can wheel it around to different countries or different villages and make that happen. And believe me, seeing it all, I believe it's really, really possible. And I rely heavily on all of you as a partner to start thinking differently, right? We don't have to have classical equipment and machinery. Honestly, a lot of machinery that we use in pharma today is 5 decades old, the designs, right? We may have made incremental improvements, but it's no more the time for incremental improvements. I think it's time for us to think totally new. So I'd encourage you to do this, and fortunately you have this lab to play around with and demonstrate that what you can do is quite different from what we've done in the past. I wish you good luck and good development. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me once again.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Gina Malhotra. Now I welcome Dr. Marcus Michel and Ms. Geena to plant the tree and proceed for the inauguration. Thank you.
Yes, you can, for sure. And we also have a rotor insert developed for this. So rotor is a disc, and in fact, one rotor is already kept here, which I can show you.
So this is just tangential.
This is tangential. Right now, sorry, this is a booster. Rotor I'll show you in the engineering development. So this is a booster. This is pretty heavy. The classic boosters that you have seen. No, that's okay, that's okay. And just to appreciate you the type of particle movement which will happen here, I request you to start the machine so that you can see the fluidization pattern which will be generated here.
Okay. I just have a couple of comments.
Yeah, sure.
Number one is that as we're going into the new pharma world and the expectations of the regulators, everything should be dismantleable.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And so I think that whenever you look at nuts, bolts, flanges, etc., there's the ease with which an operator can open it, because if he can't, he's not going to do it.
Absolutely. Very true.
You may just want to think through it. But I really like the design of your handle. I want to appreciate the ergonomics of that.
Thank you.
It's really done well. That is the first thing that struck my eyes on.
So in fact, here we have tried to keep the avoidance of any tool for opening the equipment, excepting removal of the product container sieve will have to happen with the screwdriver because that is inside. But otherwise, everything else you can dismantle. Everything is with the toggle clamps. So it's very easy to remove. Trichlorus toggle clamps everywhere. The cover of this one is a sliding type, and which is with an inflatable gasket. So no sooner you deflate, you can swing it out easily. So we call this control system as a X1 command. This is a completely PC-based control system, which of course you are used to. So this is also enabled for IoT, where we will have an IoT platform separately, where we can actually connect the data and give you the alerts separately.
So do you take access of the other pharma companies? Do you take the access from your companies to look at their data to...
If they want, if they allow us to.
Okay.
And what we are doing is...
Service that you offer now?
Yes, now we started offering, we started working. In fact, we are in already discussion with your Goa team. And we have got some data for 3 or 4 products, which on which historical data. It's only the process parameters. We do not deal with your formulations. We do not look into your formulations. And we look at the data and we tell you what are the possible improvements. Based on that, now we are trying to work out to see how the actual benefit is coming out.
What about the data from the equipment, which is not the process parameters, but also the equipment monitoring?
Correct.
Condition monitoring.
So for efficiency monitoring, that same data is being tapped. We are in fact going one step forward. What we are saying is many times the process parameters are controlled by the utilities which are being provided. So far our battery limit has always been from the supply point of the utilities till the end of the equipment. But now we think we need to extend the boundary. We are going to also monitor what is the incoming quality of the incoming parameters. Is the steam supply proper? Is the compressed air supply proper? Is the chilled water supply proper? We are going to monitor both flow rate as well as pressures. And we will also give you the alerts from time to time that this is, we have usually observed that compressed air pressures goes down at a particular time, typically shift change, when the people start using it for cleaning the clothes. So that happens, you know. Absolutely true.
Compressed air, I think it's a weapon of mass destruction.
Absolutely, because you are throwing it in the air. But that has to be dealt with separately. But currently what we are looking at. So as you were mentioning that the area, what we have tried to do is 50% of the equipment goes into the technical area. And as a result, the footprint of the pharma zone has been reduced. So which also helps you to look at the cleanability. This system is also going to be provided for the complete duct washing, whatever is necessary as per our risk assessment. I'll share with you the risk assessment document that we created on the duct washing. So what we believe is that there is a particular length of duct which might get contaminated. So we are working on that to prevent that and give you the assurance that subsequently, eventually when you do the washings, it gets thoroughly clean. The duct inside the dust inside the duct in the inlet when you find, what I noticed that many times, though you are cleaning the inlet duct, what you do that time is you open the flange, the bottom flap, and then you wash it. And for drying, you keep it open. Unfortunately, when you keep it open, your room is positively pressurized. Technical area is not, which possibly pushes the dust upwards, which inadvertently is missed out. So we have come up with the recommendation that we should have another flap on the duct, so that you make sure that that remains closed and you keep only that portion as wet.
Any development on the quick action stop hole cleaning part?
Quick action stop hole need not be cleaned according to us, because it is not inside the area from where the dust can come to the equipment. The point is how to avoid going the dust to that dirty areas, especially on the inlet side. Exhaust side is bound to have a dust. So make sure that it doesn't get contaminated. That's it.
Even we have an additional flap, but there is a still buffer area between two.
I think we'll discuss that because we'll have it over lunch. Yeah?
There's many things you can observe.
I think we wish to start the machine because I wanted you to see the reduction of the product.
We go back there anyway.
Okay, we'll go there again.
Let's
Fine,
continue
fine.
first, then we come back.
So this is where we have this is our laboratory scale GPCG 3. So here we have a facility for conducting batches up to 3 kilo. We also have a smaller version which is GPCG 1.1. And again, like other equipment, these are all provided with all the different inserts. Like here we have a rotor insert. The equipment has been set for the rotor tangential spray trials. This is a powder feeder. This will be feeding the powder through the screw conveyor, which goes inside.
It's called gravimetric.
It's actually volumetric right now. Yeah. It's depending on the RPM that we have checked, and we have specified it for a particular product. But gravimetric is also available. Options are available. Can you just do the honors by starting the machine?
We have to wait till the airflow achieve required airflow minimum 10 CFM. Then we have to rotate the knob 1, 2, and 3. Now the CFM is already achieved. Now start the RPM, heater on, and yes, switch it. You can see inside the flow pattern.
Okay. Gentle.
Yes. So now we have to start the spray pump first. So let the temperature achieve up to 35 and above, so that warm up.
Where's the spray gun?
Spray gun at the technician. You can see the side. Yeah, the solution is here. So we will start spray pump first. Let the pallet little bit wet, and then we start the powder feeder. So before that, we have to ensure that the pallet should lose the moisture. So it should around more than 35. It's already achieved. So we can start the spray pump with automation 1 bar. Now the patterns are good. Once you see the spray is on till you have to can increase little bit higher. Solution is going now. So as the solution passes, it's converted into fine droplet, is distributed across the bed, and the bed has a certain moisture, and then powder will start filling on that from the top.
You know the future of coating solutions, processing the coating solutions, I would encourage us to go for mass flow meters rather than that.
They are already using
One more less equipment, one more less to be calibrated, one more space, one more cleaning. So we're looking at every area. Very nice. Very for Cipla, I think we just do that. So not everywhere. Not everywhere. We have to do it.
Before I had, we finalized 14 supplies. So 2 before 70 machines, but we already started.
Correct.
We complete करून sample analyzer. This is our tablet press, ProTab 300. This is a pilot scale tablet press, indigenous design.
Single rotary.
Yeah, single rotary. And this is developed by our ACG team itself, so SciTech. You can start this also.
Do you have a vision of having no dust extraction on your compression machine?
As of now, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say we have been thinking in that line so far.
Red button, green button. Sorry.
Red button, green button.
But I don't want to be a red button, green button.
Take the blue one.
Okay, Madhapur. What is the kind of tariff that you have?
Now with the deep link 21 station.
And the feed rate?
The 4 pedal, 3 pedals we have.
What is the RPM here? What is the RPM they can go?
15 RPM minimum and the maximum is 100.
This is 15 to 100 RPM.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Here we have a pilot tablet quota. I think you already have this in your R&D, so you probably are already aware of this quota.
Yes.
This is, we are not running this machine today. This is only for you to see inside. Maybe with the light you can just have a look. That's all if you want. Yeah.
We got quite a few equipment in this small space, huh? Able to accommodate.
This is the area for our engineering development room. That's why it is close to this area. The idea is the engineering development will come here, and this is going to be future of the equipment that we want to build. For now, I have kept certain equipment here for you to realize what we can do. This is my basic dream. Marcus also is not aware of this. We developed these machines, MiniQuest. The idea is that my daughter is a pharmacist. And when I used to go to pharmacy college, I realized that these boys have no facility to learn. We believe that pharmacist, when he comes, he knows everything. But unless he's exposed to the technologies which are being used, at least currently, if not future for now, they won't be able to learn. So we said we will develop these machines in such a way that we want to offer it to pharma industry as a give it back to society sort of. These machines will be costing for pharma colleges 3 lakh rupees. A tablet coater as well as a fluid bed, 3 lakh each. So in less than $10,000 they can have a complete, both the technologies are available, where they can use boosters, where they can use the top spray, they can use the tablet coaters. So that's a sort of dream that we have. Yeah. Some of the new developments. This is the directional flow plate which I was discussing about. The advantage is this can create a circular movement which makes the denser granules and also makes the possibility of giving a very good.
This rotates, right?
No, this does not rotate. This is static, but the profile that we have, that flow which is cylindric, circular. A new nozzle development what we have done now, and this is formally yet to be launched, but now that you are here we want to take an opportunity to show it to you. This nozzle has been developed in such a way that it is in 2 pieces. So there is a dock and this one. The total weight of this nozzle is 800 grams only. And this is a complete toolless. You can dismantle it into all the parts without using a single tool. And as a result, it becomes much easier for using. Especially when you are doing a campaign production, what happens is that you want to remove the nozzle, clean it and fix it. But to remove the entire connection, etc., becomes difficult. So you remove the dock at the station, remove this part only, clean it and fix it. Otherwise, distance between the nozzle to nozzle also might change. So that we are trying to avoid, This is a flex nozzle, a new development of the spray nozzle. This nozzle is actually a Worcester nozzle. And always the challenge was the conventional spray nozzles that we used were very heavy and difficult to remove while cleaning. But here it becomes very easy. You just remove this, you can just pull it out. Comes out. Pull it. Pull it out. You can.
Wow.
Gym exercise for you.
No? No, I didn't know what to expect.
Now, the advantage here is we have used compressed air atomization as well as liquid here. So you can actually do the spray test outside and then fix it back. Fixing it back is just push it back and it goes back in the position. So in case you need to clean it during the process, it becomes very easy. Apart from that, then, okay, this you know. You remember, this is the one that we used in Goa, macro Worcester. We have very bitter memories for this, but doesn't matter. It's a learning curve. And this is the, absolutely. This is a rotor that you saw, which was installed on GPCG 1.1. So this is a disc which rotates. By this you can raise the disc high and low, increasing the airflow. The advantage is this is the fastest method of pelletization and drying. Because if you use extruder and spalmanizer, then you have to dry it in a tray first and then put it here for pelletization. Whereas as it is getting dried in situ, it becomes much easier for drying. On the tablet coater, we did a couple of developments. This is particularly we did for Dr. Reddy's. They have a process in which they use the drum coater for pellet coating.
Okay.
So we developed the sintered drum. So there is a sieve which is sintered there.
But this is removable because
No.
the challenge of cleaning
No, that's why this is only for the
specific product.
specific products. This can't become a general thing. For a smaller micro tablets, you have this kind of drums.
It's an interesting one. I haven't seen this lotted.
Yeah. This was my idea.
Okay. And what's the advantage?
This is, you can use it for 1.5 mm, 2 mm tablets also.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have 2 mm tablets, then we said, okay, it's difficult to have a... We also have an option of drill drum, where you have a 1.5 mm holes.
Yeah.
But that becomes more expensive. This is what we did in-house. We have a laser cutting machine, which is using nitrogen. So we did the slits with the under the nitrogen, so that carbon burr is not generated. There is still metallic burr, which is quite laborious to clean. But yeah.
With all of these equipment, I think as farmers and learning, right, that the equipment manufacturer should also provide the cleaning equipment for that particular.
We are providing now.
You are providing.
Yeah, we are providing now.
Are we taking it on today from ACG? Okay.
Now we have a wash and place solutions for everything.
Now we've been doing a lot of retrofit.
Yeah. Dr. Rahul is with us. He did his PhD from chemical engineering from UDCT. He's with us and he's working on the validation of all the machines. On the granulation train, he has done a lot of work. I think we'll go back to that room. I want Marcus to ask you a few questions, your impressions about what you saw. Can we go to granulation? This is because we are doing live streaming to different locations.
Okay.
So people to listen to what is being discussed here. So this is being provided.
Just go in front of the GT line.
I think we'll wait outside because it becomes too crowded.
Let's go over here. So, First of all, thanks a lot one more time to joining us here for the inauguration, and I'm very pleased to have you here. Tell me, what is your first impression of this lab?
You know, I for a moment forgot I was not working in a pharmaceutical company. So the look and feel is just pharma, and it doesn't seem like I'm walking into a production facility or into a technology center. So very well done. Very, very nice. And good to see the assembly of all the equipment that you have that we've typically used in pharma, right? It's good to see the miniatures of it as well.
Thank you. And another question from my side goes in the direction, you have seen a lot of equipment. You see we have here a GT line, we have a tablet press as well, we have the Quest series, so a lot of stuff already installed. But if you would have a wish, what equipment, what kind of testing you would like to see here?
So when I look at all the equipment, right, it's an opportunity for pharma companies, young engineers and staff coming to build their career to learn processes, right? But my wish would be that you must have one workshop on training on the internals and insides of so it's not just the process and the equipment, but the engineering aspects behind this equipment. And I think that is singularly missing in our trainings. And often we leave this in pharma. We have the plant and we have the engineers outside, right? And they never really talk to each other as far as this is concerned, or the problems that you may have in the process. So when you have this as a training center, which I think is a great opportunity, I wish I had this opportunity 3 decades ago. But it's fantastic. And my wish is that you should have an engineering training as well in this.
It's an absolutely valid point you brought to the table, and appreciate to address this. Exactly what we are planning. And this is the first step with the lab facility, and for sure it's not only getting in touch with the equipment, it's as well to understand that the operators understand the process, what is behind, and not using just a red and a green button like you addressed previously. For us, definitely it's a training center as well, and I appreciate that you addressed this. Let me ask my last question to you. And how do you see how pharma will develop, particularly here in India, and as well maybe an outlook to the outer world, how pharma will develop in future when it comes to OSD or other industries or other parts of the pharma industry? How do you think which way we will go? Particularly after COVID as well, maybe you can address this?
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, I think the way for pharma is to go for a smaller footprint. Small is going to be the new big, in my mind, right? Because actually the equipment are capable of lot. I think we underutilize all the equipment capabilities in terms of its output throughput. We underestimate it. They are capable of it. And I would focus on more and more on continuous manufacturing. And often I believe that pharma historically has kind of hidden behind existing processes, hidden behind regulatory regulators and regulatory affairs to say that they can't make changes. But the truth is that we can make changes, right? And every change is a planned change. I would encourage that, and I really liked what I saw, that you're starting it from the universities and from the colleges. You're able to give this equipment. When people learn it from there, I think the big change and the future is continuous manufacturing. And it should be agnostic whether the batch size is small or big. I definitely think, and I'd like, my vision is that when you design equipment, it should be absolutely dismantleable fully, right? So we should just think about it. Do we need gaskets? You know, when you have very well engineered contact paths, and something for us to think. So yeah, that's my vision. My vision is of a continuous manufacturing.
One more time, thanks a lot to have you here, and I really appreciate your impression first. And second, your request to where we can improve, and last but not least, your outlook. And it was really a pleasure to have you here, and let's continue. Now we go and take a look to the factory.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me here. Thank you.
Madam, I request you to start the tangential.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Good. We're going to see this?
Take some time.
Okay, so, Michel. Okay. So your bags have shaken?
Yes.
You've got some dust down? So this is the tangential code, what we saw there, the same disc.
This is
Yeah. And even in this you can do powder layering as well? You can do powder layering as well in this?
no, not powder.
You can't?
Powder layering you require a rotor.
You need a rotor, okay.
This will be for substantial layering.
Okay.
Of course, predominantly we use the boosters for substantial layering also.
Yeah.
This is if the process does not demand a very regular particle size, etc. This is yes, sir. The biggest advantage of this technology is to get a granules which are very dense.
Yeah.
Typically fluid bed granules, when you compare it with facial mixture, because of the low shear, the granules are lighter. So you need a denser granule for a heavy tablet.
Yeah.
Then you will be
Tangential coating.
But we are trying to develop also for the coating.
Okay.
Okay, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.